What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Hope you're doing well and getting ready for Christmas. Hope you like my Christmas tree and my beautiful whatever you want to call that at the top there. It's not really a star, but my daughter made it, so it's beautiful in my eyes. Today's session, we're going to be focusing on legs again, leg session. The goal for me at the moment is focusing on glutes to start the session with. So we're going to start with glute bridge. But before we go into it, I really want to, basically today I want to tell you that I made so many mistakes, and I think that the fitness industry creates a lot of content around things that really, in the grand scheme of things for most people, it doesn't really matter too much. And so I think it's important that we don't get so bogged down with the little intricate things and focusing on glutes to start the session with. I think that comes so much more later in your gym life, in going to the gym and improving your physique overall. But I have done that over the years. You know, I share a lot of content on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and I'm talking about things that interest me right now. And most of the time, you guys don't really care about that kind of stuff, like motor unit recruitment and moment arms and short range and lengthen range. Those things are so important. But the biggest takeaway from the session today that I want you to take away from this video is consistency and starting. The biggest problem that I see why people don't achieve a good physique is that they on and off. They go to the gym for a period of time, stop going. They go for a period of time, they stop going. And just there's no consistency. I'd much rather you stop listening to people like me in terms of the intricate bits and the bits that really make no difference in the long run to you, and just go to the gym and train. Whether that means doing things wrong. Is it really wrong? No, I'll be honest with you. When I first started training, I did everything wrong. Literally everything that I did was wrong. But guess what? I still got decent results from it because I kept going. I kept training. I kept showing up. And so my physique had no choice but to change. I'm going to tell you today over this session of some of the stuff that I did, and you're going to think, what the hell? But honestly, I just did what I thought was right at the time. And in my day, there wasn't really social media about when I started. There was lots of magazines and the people in the gym, and you just follow the magazines and the people in the gym, and you just did what you thought was right. And I think today it's the same thing, but now people are looking more at social media and people with great physiques and what they are doing. And now there's so many different variables of training. You've not just got going to the gym, you've got CrossFit, you've got High Rocks, you've got classes, you've got gym bodybuilding, whatever you want to call it. By the way, when I say bodybuilding, everybody's bodybuilding. If you're going to the gym and you're lifting weights, you're changing your physique, you are bodybuilding. Whether you think that you want to look like a bodybuilder or not, you're probably never going to look like a bodybuilder. I've been training for 20 years, I still don't look like a bodybuilder. And that makes you think, what the hell are you on YouTube talking to me about then? But genetics play a huge part in that, and we'll talk about that in other videos. But today, the biggest takeaway that I want you to take away from today is just go. Just start and be consistent, and you will get results. Now, let's warm up on the glute bridge. So get this, I joined the gym. I wanted to look good. You know, a 19-year-old guy carrying a bit of body fat at that age. The goal is always, you know what, I want to have a six-pack. I want to look like Peter Andre on TV. I want to look good. So what do I have to do? So I'm looking around the gym. I'm seeing people in great physiques, and I'm asking them, right, what do you do? So everybody has different answers. Some people say, I eat what I like, but I look like this. You know, genetics has got a lot to do with it. So I started to look here, I look there, I look at this guy, then I read on the magazines. I'm looking at all these bodybuilders. I'm thinking, okay, cool. So clearly what I've got to do is just train. and eat a bodybuilding diet. So I'm looking at bodybuilding diets and see what these guys are eating. They're eating chicken, they're eating rice, they're eating broccoli, they're eating fish. At this point, I don't really understand anything about nutrition. I don't really understand anything about training. But what I do understand is these people are doing this consistently. They come into the gym 3-4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week. They're eating what it seems like a lot of meat and fish and eggs and protein powders. And so I must do the same thing. So I just started, I just told my mom when I got home, Mom, I want rice and protein. I didn't know it was protein at the time. I want rice and meat and fish and eggs. And I'm gonna get a protein powder. And that's what I did. But I'll tell you what I did do is I went in extreme. I'd go to the gym and be there for 2-3 hours. And I'd train everything. I'd just go in every machine. I'd do abs for an hour. I would run home, run back to the gym. I started boxing at the same time. So I'm doing a huge amount of activity. So a lot of output. Again, my understanding at that time was very, very little. So I didn't realize really that the reason I was getting in good shape was basically because I was burning a lot of calories and I wasn't eating enough calories. So I lost a lot of body fat and I started feeling good about myself. But the key to that was I just kept doing it. I just kept going and just kept going and going and going. And because at 19 years old as well, my hormones are incredibly high at that point. My testosterone is lovely and high at that point. My body's going to respond. I've not done nothing apart from playing football up until that point. I've never really lifted a weight in my life. I've never been to the gym in my life. So my body had to respond to this new stimulus that it was getting, and it did respond. And the reason it responded, it never stopped responding, is because I kept going back to the gym and I kept training and I kept doing things that I'd never done before. And so the body had to respond. Now, if I look back now, was that optimal? Probably not. Could it have been a lot better? 100% it could have been a lot better. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I'm guessing my goal with this YouTube really channel is to try and give you guys some of the stuff that I didn't know. And hopefully you can apply that to your training. But really deep down inside, at the beginning, if you're not going to the gym now, or if you're very much on and off, the best thing that you can do is just go. And you just go a minimum of 3 times a week and do what you feel is right for you at the time. By watching me train today, by watching my other videos, by watching other people, maybe copy it for a bit if you want to, see if you get a result. If you don't, go back to the drawing board, but don't stop going to the gym at least 3 times a week and you will see some results. I promise you that, 100%. We've got one more warm-up set on here and then we're going to go for our working set. So progressive overload is always going to be my goal when I'm training. And again, this is something that I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you're just starting, don't worry about logging your sessions. Just go to the gym, just be consistent. And as time goes on, you get more experience, you can worry about the rest later. But obviously I'm well more advanced right now. And if you are advanced already, you've been training for a few years, you've been consistent and you're watching this, progressive overload is something that you want to be tracking. Because how do you then know whether or not you are improving? You're getting better. You don't know. And this is something that I wish I would have known way earlier than I do now. And potentially I could have gotten much better results. So we will talk about progressive overload on another video for sure. But we got 230 kilos last time for 5 reps. So the goal today is to try and beat those 5 reps with good form. Again, another thing is going to the gym at the beginning, your form is probably not going to be very good. What I would suggest you do if you're going to a gym is have a look around, look at people that you think are look okay, consistent, have a chat with them, tell them to help you a little bit. If there's a personal trainer around, maybe ask them to give you a few tips so that you can train without hurting yourself. Because if you get injured, you're not going to be able to go to the gym, the consistency goes out the window, you're not going to get the result that you want. So ask for help. Don't be afraid of asking for help. People will help you in the gym, I promise you that. Right, let's try and beat those 5 reps and see what we get out of this. you what, one of the biggest problems with this machine is racking it back up. As you get fatigued, get tired to get to the top, and it's always a bit of like, oh, can I get it in? At the top, can I lock it? Always an issue when you're training by yourself. So moving on to single leg press, focusing still on glutes mainly. So more of a hip dominant leg press. And this goes back again to starting your journey in the gym. So I'm starting this session today with focus on glutes, as I've already said. Over there in the glute bridge, I work more on the short contracted position of the glute. Here I'm going to work more the lengthened position of the glute max. So you may be listening to this thinking, well, that's a bit complicated, Aldo. I just want to go to the gym and really just train. And you are absolutely right. Again, I didn't know this for years. I'd just go in and do the same thing. You're right. I'd go into the gym. If I was to do legs, a leg press, leg extension, lying leg curl, lunges. That was typically what everyone else was doing. And I got some great results from that. I wasn't really focusing on this area of the glute or that area of the glute or this area of the quad or the hamstring. And really, again, in the grand scheme of things, the most important thing is going to the gym, is being consistent, and you will get results. Now, as you get more advanced and you understand more about training, and again, the goal with these videos is to try and teach you more about it, so then you can start to change things a little bit more. But nothing will mean nothing if you don't go to start with. And then you might ask yourself the question, well, why don't I just get ahead of the game, Helder? You wasted so many years not understanding what you were doing. Why not get ahead of the game? And the goal with these videos is exactly that, is to get you to get ahead of the game. But the biggest message, and I'm going to keep saying this today, is consistency. Go to the gym. Don't worry about this area of the glute or that area of the glute. Just go and train. Just be consistent with it and train hard and train safe. And you will get there. So single leg. Just got to warm up first. 5 reps on each side. Okay, so working set. We're only doing one working set. I will do my right leg first. I got 6 reps on this last time. I'll rest for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll do my left leg, and then that'll be it in terms of glutes. So we are moving on to quads, leg extension. So in my last training vlog where I did legs, I'll make sure at the end of the video I'll link this, the last training session. We focused more on the top range of the quad in this exercise. So slightly different setup to be able to do that. Today we're going to work more from the bottom position to the mid position, focusing more on the mid position of the quad. Again, grand scheme of things right now, doesn't really matter for you really, unless you well advanced. I won't worry too much about what position you're in. Just make sure, if you want to work the quads in a leg extension, get on it, be safe on it, don't rush the movement. It's not a race, it's a controlled movement you want to do. By making sure that you pause at the bottom, you pause at the top, you could do a weight that you can comfortably do, get the coordination right, get that mind-muscle connection, understand what's about to work, get yourself in a position where you're safe to exercise, and that in the grand scheme of things, being consistent with that will lead to results anyway. One of the things I would potentially have done earlier in my career if I had the opportunity and I understood what I understand today, and my goal wasn't to become a coach, just to train and be the best version of myself. And if I could have afforded it, I would have hired a coach a bit earlier on in my gym life. Again, just to try and get the most out of my training and not waste as much time as I did. I probably would have done that. The problem was, I was 19 years of age, my ego was too high, and I couldn't really afford to hire a personal training coach for many, many years. And so, like I said, I copied the magazines, I copied the people around me, I looked at what they were doing, I looked at the guys I thought had the best physiques, pretty much copied them, and in the end, I got some okay results. But the biggest thing, as I keep going back to that, is I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. Sometimes more than I should have done, but again, that comes with experience and time and learning. Instead of going 6 days a week, you should only go maybe to start with twice a week, and not 6 days, and going all out. But again, whatever it takes, if you feel motivated to do it, just go. I'd rather you go than not go and get into that, building those strong habits of going to the gym, of going to exercise and enjoying being there and enjoying lifting weights. I think that's the biggest takeaway of this video, is just do it consistently. So we're doing one working set on the squats here, full stack. Last time I got 5 reps. The goal is to go for higher than that if we possibly can. So let's aim for that. Again, as I said in my last leg day, stability is so important. Something that, again, I wish I would have known a bit earlier in my gym life. But stability is key. So this belt really helps to stay stable, because as I push the weight up, my bum wants to lift up. So the belt and then the handles are two things that I really appreciate. Now, if you go to the gym and you don't have a belt there, don't worry. The biggest thing for you to do there is grab these handles and pull to the ceiling, driving your bum down into the seat, so that your bum doesn't lift up and your knees take the brunt of the weight. You don't want to get injured. Again, lifting safely is going to be important. Don't get so down in the, oh, I don't have a belt like Helder, so then I'm not going to be able to do that exercise. Yes, you are. These are just things that over time you'll be able to apply the more knowledge you get. But if you don't have a belt in your own gym, again, grab those handles and go for it. Right, let's do it. Boom! 6 reps, 1 more than last time. So happy with that. So we're now going to move on to back to the leg press, but we're now going to be focusing more on the quads. So you've seen when I was focusing more on the hip dominant, my foot was higher. So that's going to be more glute. Of course, quads is still going to do some work there, whether we like it or not. But this machine, unfortunately not the best leg press in the world, but with my knowledge over the years, I've been able to adapt the machine to still get what I want out of it and what my clients need out of it as well. So what I've done is I'll put an hill elevation here at the bottom of the machine, which allows me to have a bit more of an ankle mobility. So it will allow me more knee flexion to come all the way down and really focus on the quad. And then I've added this to elevate myself on the seat, because this seat doesn't move up and down. Ideally, I'd like this to move up and down, and I will buy a new leg press machine. But for now, with these adjustments, it definitely works. And you'll see that I'm able to really come nice and low on here, focusing more on the quad. So having the heel elevation there and the elevation on here by sitting a bit higher on the bench, I'm able to really get my quads lengthened. Again, don't worry too much about the lengthened portion. Today's message is not how you can change your leg press. Today's message is just start and be consistent with your training as often as possible without many breaks. And you will get fantastic results regardless of whether you're 19, whether you're 50, whether you're 90, you will get results if you keep going consistently to the gym, a minimum 2 to 3 times a week to start with. But even, I'll be honest with you, even in the long run, I think more than 4 times a week in the gym, weight training is way enough. You don't need to go any more than that. I would say the sweet spot really, based on your lifestyle, depending on that, of course, is going to be between 3 and 4. But to start with, 2 days is more than enough. And also, not just more than enough, but what should you do? Honestly, one of the biggest things I think, biggest mistakes people make when they go to the gym is by looking at other people. This is what I did. And back in those days, I did chest and shoulders, back and biceps, legs. And that to me, yes, I got results, but I could have got much better results if I went in and did full body splits. When I've never trained before, the best thing you can do is go in and do a full body split 2 to 3 times a week. And you'll get so much better results if you did that than if you go in and do chest and shoulders, buys and back and legs. Again, you will get results with that if you're consistent, but honestly, full body, in my opinion, to start is incredibly good. Right, 1 working set here. You can see I'm gonna go really low. The lower I go on here, the more I can drive my knee past my toes, the more quads I'm gonna be working. And the goal is to get anything above 5. Again, stability is key. Grab those handles, pull hard, keep your bum on the seat. Otherwise, as the weight comes down, it will lift you up, and then your lower back will tuck in. Not a good idea if you don't want to get injured. But again, this is for another video. Okay, let's do this. Whoa. Whoa. Shit. Oh. Woo. Last time I got 4. This time I got 4. You're not always going to get progressive overload, but I'm happy with that. That was tough. I couldn't get another one out of that. So we're going to end the session with lying leg curl, 1 working set only. So that basically means I've done 2 working sets on glute bridge, 1 working set on each leg on the hip abdominal leg press, 2 working set on leg, 1 working set on leg extension, 1 working set on the quad focus leg press, 1 working set on the lying leg curl. Now you're going to be listening to this thinking, that's not a lot of workout. And again, as time goes on and these videos keep progressing, and I'm going to be talking to you a lot more about volume, working sets, rest between sets, all those things will come. But again, the biggest message of today's video, if you're not going to the gym and you're going to join the gym, just be consistent. If you're already going to the gym and you have pretty much been consistent throughout the whole last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and you've hit a pause in your results, then keep watching these videos, because there's going to be a lot more coming to really help you. And for those of you who are new, just going to join the gym, just know for the next maybe 3 years, your biggest bang for your buck is going to be turning up and exercising and weight training.